My name is Jillian Altizer, and I am a student violence prevention facilitator with Green Dot WSU. And we're a fairly new program on campus. We've been here for just 2 years, and the first year was a lot of just like getting things organized, and this year we've reached out to a lot more students. And so most violence prevention efforts in the past have focused on victims and perpetrators, and what that looks like is telling women risk reduction techniques. Don't drink too much, don't walk alone at night, cover your drink. And it looks like telling men no means no, and treating all men as though they are perpetrators or potentially perpetrators. But Green Dot approaches the situation our 6-hour trainings on Saturdays, usually from 10 to 4, and we go really in depth about how to recognize the most common types of violence on campus. And those three main types of violence that we see are interpersonal violence, are stalking, sexual assault, and partner violence. And so a lot of the training is how to recognize those more violent situations, or we call them red dots, as opposed to healthy relationships, and how to recognize the difference, because that can be really tricky for people to know if what they're seeing is a bad situation, or we want to validate people's gut feelings about that and feel confident when they see something being like, whoa, this isn't right. And then once we give people that knowledge, then we want to talk about different ways that you can intervene and how you can stop that from happening, from getting worse. And there's a lot of different personality styles. Like, not everyone's just gonna walk up to someone and say, hey, what you're doing isn't right. So that's what we have the 3 Ds of green dots, 3 different types of green dots that people can do. And so the first one is direct, and usually only 20 to 40% of people that we've surveyed with like clickers are comfortable directly intervening in a situation and going up and telling someone, hey dude, like, she's not sober enough to go upstairs with you. So for those people who aren't comfortable doing that, we have delegate, which is getting somebody else to do it, talking to an RA, calling the police, getting someone's friend who is maybe closer to the situation. And then the third D is distract, which is just not directly confronting a situation, but distracting from it so that it doesn't escalate. So maybe spilling your drink on somebody, telling someone the cops are coming, you need to go out of there, or if you're a girl, you can go up to another girl you're concerned about and ask her if she wants to go to the bathroom with you. Just anything to just lessen the immediate threat of that situation. And we also talk about obstacles for why people don't intervene in the first place, like why people aren't always doing these green dots already, and that's because it can be really hard to step up in a high-risk situation. And so we talk a lot about what are your own personal obstacles and validating those feelings. And we don't tell people to just get over it. We just tell people to think about it and think about what kind of green dot that they can do despite their obstacle. So we're going to go around the obstacle and not telling anybody, who's shy to suddenly become really outgoing.
How did you get involved with that program?
I did the vagina monologues 3 years ago. So my sophomore year, did the vagina monologues with V-Day WSU, and I got an email that all the V-Day members got talking about this new program and would anyone like to go to a bystander training, and I had nothing else to do. And I was pretty skeptical about it because I've heard of programs like this that don't really work. But I went, and it was like the first time I've been to a violence prevention program that actually felt empowering and not depressing. And so when the job position came up, I applied.
Do you think over the past 2 years you've seen a difference in the violent rates on campus? Have they dropped or have they stayed the same?
Because this is the first year that I believe our program has been pretty effective, I would say it's really too soon to see the actual rates of violence on our campus, but it's very heavily evidence-based. And so we based it a lot of this program on a lot of prior research, and it's a national organization. And we do survey students before they do the training, after they do this training, and several months after the training to talk about how that 6-hour bystander training affected their behavior when they were first confronted with a situation like one we had talked about. And so the results have been really encouraging so far. When our coordinators have gotten back in touch with people, I think it was at least 65% of people said that Green Dot has affected their behaviors positively in some way. So that's really exciting, but what we want to do is reach 20% of the student body to really affect the kind of culture change we're looking for in terms of how our community is intolerant of violence. And we're getting one more staff person next year, another graduate coordinator, and we really hope with an extra staff person we will get closer to meeting that 20% goal, which we haven't not been meeting so far, just because we're a little overworked.
Do you know what percentage you have been meeting?
No, I'm not sure on that figure.
Not sure. How do you think that going through this training helped you? How did you see violence differently, or like the campus differently?
The training was really useful because we do role plays and we talk about real life situations, and we talk about how we personally would respond to that situation. And months later, I've been in a couple situations where I know I would have done nothing had I not been Green Dot trained, and I was able just to quickly bring up the 3Ds in my head and think okay, what are my options here, what can I do? And I was able to call the police and feel really good about myself, about having done something in that situation to make it better. So that's just on a personal level. I felt pretty good about the tools and skills that I've been given.
Do you have any other facts or opinions on the program, or what direction you think it might be heading in over the next couple years when you graduate?
I hope it's just going to get better and better. Our RSO is pretty awesome. This year we put together an informational video, and we hope to, as more people go through the bystander trainings, more people will become interested in joining the RSO and helping get the word out there.
What does RSO stand for?
Registered Student Organization, so club.
Club.
Essentially.
Is that what Green Dot is, more of a club?
We have two components. So the actual Green Dot program where we have staff and their job is to do this. And then we also have a side component of the Green Dot Club where we really want to show, we don't want it to just be, adults coming in and telling students how to act and what to do. We want to show that students are on board with this and students are really excited about this. So by having the club, the RSO, we hope to have that peer influence, that this is a cool thing that students can get really excited about.
Do you know how long the Green Dot organization has been around nationally, or where it started?
Nationally, it started in Kentucky, and I want to say it's been around for less than 10 years, but at the first university where it was implemented in Kentucky, I believe they have seen a drop in the number of violent crimes at their campus.
Do you know what university it was?
I want to say it's the University of Kentucky. It has Kentucky in the name.
So it's either university.
Yeah.
Or another one.
Yeah.
Do you know how many universities across the country have started to adopt this program?
A lot. UW has it, Central has it, UPS, PLU. I think there's 5 universities in Washington State that have Green Dot, and they're various levels of like how soon they've gotten it. I think U of I is implementing their program next year. That their people just got trained this last couple months, and they're going to get ready to launch it next year. And so that'll be exciting to see collaboration between WSU and U of I. Their different Green Dot programs, that has a lot of exciting potential as well.
Well, do you have any other opinions that you would like to add? You gave me lots of helpful information.